This is the Grand Duchess Rasmussen, also known as Ryan Tomlinson. I'm no longer at Manor Road, but 9521 Old Georgetown Road, basement apartment, 240-2740156. It's funny how sometimes you can live your life and follow a pattern of behavior that you don't know how you come to the conclusion, but that you are at that conclusion, and forever some forces, eternal, external, internal, eternal, or infinite, whatever you want to call it, gives you an insight into something else. But my main comment is going to be based on my own experience as well as something that's popular in the media today. And I turn my attention not to the efficacy because of race, but the efficacy because of responsibility, ideology, and the consistency of our dedication, or of our, let's say, dedication to what we value and what we are worth as far as it comes to the Constitution and to each other as a community, a nation, and citizenry of whatever the world, etc. But I bring my attention to show the lack of understanding that still persists, and that sometimes the most ignorance comes from the people that look like you, they're educated like you, and still in their own efficacy to draw attention away from themselves, find the meniality in their lack of responsibility in order to diffuse situation for people that they shouldn't be advocating for. This is about ending up on the wrong side of the street. Whether or not Mr. Banner want to help Mr. Obama to diffuse a situation, it's a quite ignorant thing for Mr. David Banner to say, and I am going to show it. I don't know if you can read it, but here it goes. He says, our situation, which he's calling about I don't know if it's his own family or so forth, but I'm gonna think that he's referring to African American people. Our situation is more psychological than people will admit. Black kids will kill black kids for the same reason cops do. They see no value. And I wonder why black kids would kill white kids. Don't white kids kill white kids also? And that the responsibility for children to be legally and to be morally responsible lies within the home. And what if you don't have that strong father, that strong mother, that strong guidance? Why is it black kids and black kids do that? Black kids have had a generation. They've come very far, and they still have far to come. Many in the 60s never lived with their parents. Martin Luther King children were deprived of their parents, and so was Malcolm X, etc., etc. And what are the expectations of other children? Not so lucky not to have spirited, ambitious children, if not educated and bright. Now it goes to say, I say in Ferguson, the child did not pull a weapon, but the responsibility lies with the police officer. Therefore, they have to be more conscientious in what they're doing and to be more citizen friendly. There is an efficacy of race. There is an efficacy of I do not value. That's the main underlining thing. I do not value you enough. I can because I have the power, such of which I suffered in the army at the hands of Mr. Obama, Mr. Bush, and so forth, and the stinking army, U.S. Army. You know, we all know that. The same thing comes back over and over again, and I will tell you, the sleepish black people, the same ones that attempted after my life. I said, I knew my murder was ordered on that street. Mr. GS15 sat on that teleprompt, and as they thought that they were talking discreetly, I was directed, whether you want to call it angelic or not, and I stood right there and heard the entire conversation. Drug him to the pulp. And Mr. GS15 said, I cannot take that child's life. His own family advocated for his death or to be disabled. So I cannot kill him. If he takes drugs on his own, then I can take him out for you with a top level White House official all the way to the top. And that official said, tell Jasmine Peterson, Marbella Bailey, Charles Naparelli, and etc. from 168 in Korea, XYZ, and I will make sure that no one knows, that what goes on. So I am not excited. I am not excited about this, but I am not at all. I am not at all. I am not at all surprised at it. I could have Joe Biden sitting beside me advocated. What did Joe Biden say to me in Korea? I sat right in, bag something another. And now we're all talking about gay rights. I've had the whole gambit of those assholes, Joe Biden, Obama, Clinton, whatever, Cheney, and all of those. So whether or not you want to believe me or not, that is the question. But whether or not they are correct, it's a matter for them to prove. It's a matter for them to prove whether the value and the integrity, not of their structure, of their responsibility to the citizenry and responsibility to the duty to which we serve, and we serve innocently and humbly. But it does to prove that an ordinary black person can come under attack, whether it is for race, color, money, and the life is not valued. As I said, Mr. Obama is a 17th cousin of this one, the 14th cousin of that, and Anne is his mother. It could have well been Catherine Graham. We do not know. Mandela could be his father. We do not know. With the CIA, a face is just a face, and a name is just a face, and a family is a family, and so forth. Do we care? We've probably never had a real American president since, God knows, Abraham Lincoln. And so therefore, it like the royal family, their inbredness, the masonry of the whole family brings the disease of injustice, the disease of I can get away with. And so therefore, they become tolerable and offensive to me. But as I was saying, as the same thing, when they did gay rights, they did it to protect themselves. I have no patriotic duty to the U.S. Army, because in my experience, they have not done their duty. I remember that day, my murderer, my executor said, you brought him home from deployment and you threw him right in Korea without arrest. And you want me to kill that boy without a family. You want me? I said, I cannot do that. As he held his Bible on his lap, GS15 said that. So I'm not surprised of this. I'm not surprised of this. And whether or not you want to believe or not, that's the truth. But I have been guided. I have been made to be a witness. I knew my betrayal as I sat from deployment and I quizzed my family. And I said, what is it? I knew what they knew. And I sat in that church, Catholic Church, St. Andrews. We remembered pain, and I felt for them. It was the vision of the Virgin Mary. She cast it down. She casted the scene in front of me in that church. I almost fell to my mother's shoulders, but I didn't, and I didn't cry. That's the betrayal in that thing. I knew what I was going to face, but I faced it because of what I could. Because of what I believe, who I was.
How are you doing?
You always give people that you trust a chance to prove themselves. And so let's bring it back to responsibility and to love. And therefore, if I have said that I have been made a witness, an angel came to me in a near-death experience and made me a witness. There are so many things I've witnessed, and there is still so many things to come. There was a great plane crash the other day, which I saw before. Plane number and everything. But I never said it. And I would never say another thing that I shall see. Because justice must be served, whether it be divinely or whatever it is. And so we wait for the criminals to do honor and to pay respect to the duty that they should repay. And therefore, Ferguson is their nightmare. The guilt and the stench of their injustice and misdeeds.